For both of these decisions.
More breaking news now, too. The Bristol County DA in Massachusetts now confirming New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez is under arrest, set to be arraigned later today. All this news breaking just about an hour ago. There will be developments on this coming up this hour. And a brand new hour starts right now. I'm Bill Hemmer, and welcome to Heather.
And I'm Heather Childers in for Martha McCallum. Good to be here. Now, Hernandez taken from his house in handcuffs, placed in the back seat of a police cruiser.
No word yet on what charges he will face. Hernandez is...
So the real question now is what kind of history will be made here? Will this be a day people will remember, like Roe v. Wade or Brown v. the Board of Education? I have truly an all-star panel. Rachel Maddow, host of the Rachel Maddow
Molly
Show,
Line is watching all this live now from Boston. What are we hearing now about the arrest, Molly?
Good morning, Bill and Heather. We're finally getting some information this morning. It's unusual to not get information about what exactly the charges will be, but they're actually not releasing that at this point in time. The Massachusetts State Police have released a series of tweets throughout the morning informing the media about what's actually going on here. Hernandez was taken out of his home a little bit before 9 o'clock this morning. We saw that video of him being brought out in the handcuffs, wearing that white shirt, put in the back of a North Attleboro police cruiser, taken to the North Attleboro Police, where he would be booked, and then later on today expected to be at the district court there in Attleboro. No word yet on what those charges actually are, according to the Massachusetts
We are going now to a special
Police.
report. Here's NBC's Pete Williams, live at the Supreme Court.
This from the Bristol County District Attorney's Office. Samuel Sutter is the district attorney there in Bristol County. They say he will be arraigned at the district court, and then following that arraignment,
the Supreme Court has just struck down the Federal Defense of Marriage Act. This was the law passed by Congress in 1996, signed by President Clinton, that prevented the federal government from recognizing the validity of same-sex marriages in the states where they're legal. It's a 5-4 decision written by Justice Anthony Kennedy. And the interesting thing here is that the court has said that DOMA is unconstitutional as a matter of equal protection, meaning that it's discriminatory. Now, the importance of that is, if the Supreme Court had struck it down on a narrower basis by saying, for example, that the federal government doesn't have the power to determine what a marriage is, that's a matter for the states, that would have been a very narrow ruling. This is a very broad ruling. If the Supreme Court here is saying that the federal government can't make distinctions between same-sex and opposite-sex couples in terms of what marriages the federal government will recognize, then this is an opinion that can be used by proponents of same-sex marriage to attack laws in other states. So it's a significant ruling from the Supreme Court. We're still waiting for the decision on California's Proposition 8. But I would say, based on the size of this ruling and the size of the dissent, that it's going to take the justices a long time to read their opinions from the bench. I would guess that the dissenters will read their dissents as well. So we've got some period of time to wait here before we get the other decision.
And also had been seen on the street where Lloyd lived in Dorchester. Dorchester is a neighborhood in the city of Boston. The Bristol County District Attorney's Office, however, did say that they were looking for this car part, a mirror, a silver mirror that had come off of a vehicle somewhere between the Boston area and North Attleboro. So that gives us some idea of...
Molly, apologize for that. Molly Line in Boston, back to her when we get more developments on that. In the meantime, there has been a decision handed down in at least one of the two cases regarding gay marriage in America that we expected today from the U.S. Supreme Court. Apparently, that decision is in regard to the Defense of Marriage Act. Remember, the Defense of Marriage Act was signed into law, passed by Congress, signed into law by President Clinton in 1996. And that now has been challenged, and the U.S. Supreme Court was asked to, well, they were asked to question whether or not it was within the constitutional rights or not, as to whether or not certain Americans could be denied federal protections under law if indeed they were a married couple. Now, Shannon Bream, just out from the U.S. Supreme Court. She's got her gym shoes on. She's running toward our camera. She has the decision now in her hands. And on DOMA, what did the justices decide? Shannon.
It appears, Bill, that they have struck down the portion of DOMA which would ban same-sex couples from getting the same benefits as traditionally married couples.